My name is Dave, and when I'm not sky high in the private jet, I'm a cannabis consultant, and I love doling out the knowledge to those who need it most, our students who are the future. Enjoy this little bit of a talk that I gave at Syracuse University.
So just to give you a little background, the name of one of my companies is Sativa Caveman, and Instagram is the best way to see what we're all about. But basically that's a delivery service, and we cover all of California, and we carry products that most people don't think of. For instance, patches that go on the skin that have THC or CBD in them. An inhaler, just like you would use for asthma, like that, but it's got cannabis in it. Goes and it shoots it right down into your lungs. Suppositories literally go up your ass. I mean, we have them all. We have vaginal suppositories, all different kinds of products that you've never thought of for ingesting cannabis. And that is kind of what we've built the brand on, is having stuff that other people don't have. So what I'll do is kind of go back a little bit before that, give you a little bit of the background. As we had spoken about 10, 11 years ago, I was in a car accident. It threw me forward and it hurt my back. Standard run-of-the-mill. I had issues sleeping because of it. Doctors gave me all kinds of pills. Of course, I didn't want to, I was taking them. They were kind of working. They had lots of side effects. I kind of ballooned up to about 250 pounds. It wasn't pretty. I knew that there had to be a better way. So I went to my neighbor who was a drug dealer, flat out. His name is Happy. He had more than just weed, so I was like, whatever, I just need something to sleep. I have $30. What can you do for me? So he just literally opened up a drawer, grabbed some, threw it in a bag. Here, I'm hooking you up. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'm sure you're hooking me up. So I tried it and it worked, and that was the best part. So I slept really well. I immediately started having, let's just say my mind was opened up a little bit more, and I started getting more creative. So I knew there was something there. So I went to one of the medical cannabis doctors in California, where you literally show up, you go into a waiting room, you pay $49 or whatever they're charging, you go to the doctor, you go into this office, and there's usually not even a doctor there. It's a TV screen, and the doctor's in his house. So you're in a doctor's office, but you're video conferencing in. And they'll ask you the standard couple of questions. Why do you need cannabis? Why do you feel that you should use it? What have you used in the past that didn't work? So the answer is, I have back pain, I took Vicodin, it made me sick. That's all you have to say. It doesn't matter what you're really there for. It was just kind of a sham to get your paperwork. So you do it, you get the paperwork. So I did that, and I started going to the dispensaries in San Diego, because that's where we were living at the time. And in San Diego, they were all these ramshackle dispensaries. It was like just 6 walls and a roof thrown up. It might as well have been like a shed. It was always in the alley. It was always kind of shady. You never really felt safe going in there. And I started exploring them a little bit, because all of these dispensaries had what they call FTPs, first-time patient. Meaning the first time you go in and sign up for their dispensary and sign up with their collective, you get a free gift. So of course, me being a Jew from Long Island, I went over and got a sample from every place and tried it out. It was awesome. So I did all the FTPs, and I saw all these different dispensaries, and I was like, there has to be a better way. All these spray painted walls, they're in the bad part of town. You always feel like they're staring at you. It always smells in there. Or there was the other approach, which is like the girls in bikinis, serving you the weed, whatever, with their hands. And I'm looking at all this. I'm like, that's great if you're in Las Vegas, but that's not going to do it for my standards. And I come from a retail background, because my mom and dad were entrepreneurs and we owned a retail store. So I kind of had an idea how to do that. So I start looking at these dispensaries and how awful they are, and thinking, how could I level up this idea of a dispensary, but in my own way, kind of build my own model. I just smoked outside, so I'm going to be a little dry mouth for a while. So in terms, this is another question. Who here, you don't have to identify yourselves, but who here voluntarily or openly smokes cannabis? Uses it? Cool, that's awesome that you're so open about it. A lot of people are still in the closet. There's no need for that, but I totally get it. Just some people don't want to come out about that kind of thing. I'm a daily user. I've been using every day for 6 or 7 years, been using it total, for the back pain and all, about 10 years. I smoke pretty much from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep. It's not necessarily smoking burning flower. It's more, I'll take a dab, then have a cup of coffee, then take 2 dabs, another cup of coffee. Then it's time to go out, take some meetings. So I have a joint in my pocket. I light it, take 2 drags, put it back in my pocket. Let's see, where is it? So in a little tube like this. So it's just put it back in the tube, put it out, goes in the pocket, nobody knows. This is me medicated. If I hadn't smoked, I wouldn't be able to stay on topic right now. I'd already be on my 4th tangent, and you guys would be totally lost and have no idea. I hope I haven't done that yet. But so I basically just step outside, have a little smoke. All my clients know me. I have a very public Instagram profile, and I publicly smoke on there. And I tell them, like, you want me to smoke before the meeting. Trust me, you want the creative mind. You don't want the guy who's going to sit here, hear you out, and forget everything you said. So I use it very openly. It's a little bit of a challenge in some places, obviously. You just got to be smart when you do it. Stay indoors, know your rights, obviously, know how to handle a police encounter. You're all young, I'm sure you're not going to have those issues. But so basically, back to the delivery service. The reason that we were doing really well is because we had products no one else saw. Where did we get the products? How did we find out about them? And this is where my wife and I were discussing earlier. I think I want to really delve a little bit into this. It's the trade shows. And that's the best place to get business done. So there's two kinds of trade shows in the States. There's the cannabis ones, Cannabis Cup, Dabathon Cup, HempCon, Hemp Stock, any other cheesy name, Green Fest, whatever they can throw together. Emerald Cup is coming up next week, or it was December 14th or something. Those are the ones where there's open consumption. So that's going to be in your legal states like Michigan, Oregon, Washington, California, so on. Those are the ones where I find all the products. That's where I get the coolest new stuff. I fly from New York out to California because we're living in New York now. But even when living in California, I would travel the entire state to go to all these festivals to find the best cannabis flowers, the best vape pen, the best dabs. That's how I found the suppositories, the patches, sublingual tinctures, and then the entire CBD world as well. And that's a whole different animal, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So at all these festivals, I would meet a lot of people. I'd meet the producers. I would get to know them. 99% of the people that are attending those events are there to get high. They're there to buy weed and ship it back to their home state to sell it for a profit, or they're just there for the musical acts, which are usually terrible. They're these like awful rappers you've never heard about. So it's their friends that show up. So I went to all these events and I kind of got to know the people, build up a really solid network. So now I have my network of cannabis producers, cannabis vendors, and that's from years and years of going to all these different cups, as I call them, the Cannabis Cup, the Dabathon Cup, whatever. So I've gotten to know a lot of people. So now move over to, just jump off topic for a second, into my personal life, where I joined an app, we'll call it, okay? It's called Jet Smarter. Some of you might have heard of it. It's a private jet sharing application on the iPhone and Android. So basically, you pay an annual fee. You get to fly on a private jet, and you share it with 11 other people or 10 other people. They fill all the seats, and you share it. So it's a private jet experience, but you don't have the whole thing. You can't just be popping bottles and, having strippers and stuff like that. So on those jets, every time I would take a flight, which was very frequently to go east, west, whatever, I would meet 11 new people. We'll say on average it was about 12 per flight. So I meet 11 new people, and I would try to capture their info as much as possible, because most people on that flight have a couple bucks in their pocket. They're good people. Half of them maybe were interested in the cannabis industry, or they're already in it. So now I have this database of people who are interested in the industry. They want to somehow get involved. Maybe they have money but no knowledge. Maybe they're in the business but they need to get the money to finance a project. And now I have the connections from the cannabis vendor side. So what I've been doing for the past, then this is the newest venture, past, we'll say 3 months, is leveraging all of those contacts into a new business called Industry Liaisons. So we call it Industry Liaisons because I want to keep it kind of inconspicuous. I don't want to say like weed brokers. That's just going to be a little too on the radar. So Industry Liaisons is our newest firm, and what that does is takes people who want to get into the cannabis industry in any realm. I want people who want to build a better mousetrap. So they want to make a new edible in California. They want to open up a grow house in Oregon. They want to make a new CBD product in Texas, or they want to build a new extraction machine wherever and just sell the extraction machines, meaning they don't even have to touch the plant. They don't have to have any risk at all. They come to us, we build them a business plan. So we build them a business model, which is exactly what we've done for ourselves and our businesses. So once we build this business model and put out a sufficient business plan for them, we have them go to our attorney. They do a full legal consult so they understand the implications of their business. And then once that's done, we take that business plan that we've created in conjunction with them, and we now shop it around to our investors, AKA my friends who I've met on the jet. So if I can impart one wise thing, networking is huge. You never know who you're talking to, who you're sitting next to. The people I met on these planes, I had no idea. They were CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies, one of the largest real estate firms in the entire world, Cushman & Wakefield. These are just regular people dressed like me. You would never know who they are. So with all of that networking that's gone on between the jet, the conventions, my personal life, Instagram, all that stuff, we've just been putting it all together into one giant database and matching people.